Hey everyone, Richard and Neville here. Thank you for joining me in this webinar. Today I want to do a quick little webinar here on pulling some agent statistics on yourself and other agents as well as brokerages. Excuse me. So let's get started. So basically, you personally might be able to do this through the My Listings for your own data. But since I'm not able to access that, I'm going to go ahead and show you the way you could do it, excuse me, for yourself as well as other agents. So this I'm going to show you is residential, but if you have land or multifamily commercial stuff that's all together, that you could use as cross property in order to get all of your sales, whether they're listing or buyer side. But let's go ahead. We're just going to use this. For most of you, it's going to be just the residential detail. So if you go to this closed here, we want to do our closed listings for the past year. So we're going to click this. So this goes 1 month back. This goes 1 year back. So we'll go the 2 arrow, go back 1 year. We'll go to January 1st, 2018 to December 31st, 2018. Okay, so now we have our year of the past year. All right. You can go through, do these property types, but really we're looking at ourselves right now. And Ryan Arditi's given me approval to use his as an example in here. But you could drill down into cities, areas, and whatnot to, if you're going to compare yourself against another agent in Valencia, Westridge, or whatever it is, you can go down right into that area to compare yourself. If whatever areas you work and you're going against somebody else who's, trying to nudge their way into your area, assuming you know who they are, you can look them up by the area to see how many they've sold and average sales price and days on market and whatnot. All right, so we have our time range set. We're going to leave it wide open here so we get all of our sales. So Ryan, like I said, gave me approval to use him. So go ahead and select the F number here. If we click on that, that's going to choose you or whoever. So this here is given 15 matches. Click results, and it's going to go ahead and list all those out. There's this button here called labeled stats. So if you click on that, that's going to have this tabular and charts options. You don't want to click charts. Charts is going to bring you over to this stat, where it's going to kind of lose everything you just did. So, and there is ways to do it in the stats, but we're going to go and show you just what I think is an easier way. So we'll go to the stats and then just tabular. And then there we go. We have all of our data right here. So all of our closed sales from for the past year from 1/1/2018 to 12/31/2018 for, in this case, Ryan. These are the 15 closed transactions with your average list price, average close price, days on market, your minimum last, your lowest list price, your highest list price, and then close price, highest, lowest, average budget bathrooms, lot sizes, square foot, average year. So it gives you a lot of data there really, really fast. You have these options up here as well where you could do by market area. So now it's listing out your sales based on market area. Okay. And then it gives you for that area. So, if you just have one in there, it's not really going to average anything out. There's nothing to average. But say, let's take a look at this Canyon Country 1 with 3. So now, average of 49 days with the average sales price of $490, and so on. So you can play with that. The other options are status, list price. So they're all closed. So that status isn't going to change, but this gives you the price breakdowns of $100,000. So there was one between 100 and 200,000, and then there, go to 4 or 5. There's 5, 5, 6. There's 5, and then they'll give you those breakdowns. So based on averages, assuming you have more than one in there. Okay, so we can see our average list, average close, average days on market. And let me give you a little tip here. So if we, I use percentagecalculator.net, I think is real simple. Percentagecalculator.net. It's a free tool that you can use, and you just copy paste the numbers and hit the calculate button, and boom, I have the numbers right there. So let's take a look at, we have our list price and close price. So because we want to calculate, well, actually, let's go to market area here, and then say we were going to, going on a listing presentation here in Canyon Country 2 listing, and we have our list price of $5.99, and we have our average sales close price of $601, which that's going to be obviously over 100%. So let's do our, what is this? Oops. List price. So copy that, bring it over here, and then list price is going to go on this side in this second option here. So it's going to be the close price is what percentage of the list price. So let's put that in, come back over here and grab our close price, come back, paste that in, calculate. So now our our sales price is what percentage of the list price. And in this case, it's 100.375. So basically 100. Or, if you wanted to go over, you do like 100.4, round up there a little bit. And then, so you're showing that on average for your sales in Canyon Country 2, you've sold them at 29 days on average with a list to close ratio of 100.4%. So on average, you've sold the homes for more than they were listed for. Okay. So let's go back here. All right. Let's go back to criteria. And now we're going to take a look at, we'll leave this closed the same, but maybe you want to look up another agent. So I just look somebody up who's kind of out of area, but has a few sales. So let's take a look here. So now you can just look up anybody else just by typing in their name like you did with your own name, okay? So now you results, and then you could do the same stats, tabular, and now you have their average days on market, average list to sell. So I mean, they're obviously, I didn't dig too deep into them, so they're a totally different price range of homes that they sell, and obviously good list to sales close ratio as well. I mean, that one's even higher than 100% as well. But you get the point. You can just type in whoever you're, if you know who you're going to be up against, you can just type in their name and then select them, and then that way it'll give you that information. And then you could do that with the buyers as well. So basically, there's the list agent and then buyer's agent. So if you put yourself in both, thinking that you're going to get both buyers and listings and sales side transactions, then like closed transactions, you're not. It's only going to, you're most likely you're going to get zero unless you've double-ended a deal, because that's saying that I am the list agent as well as the buyer's agent. So if you just put yourself in over here, let's use Ryan again here. So now we have our buyer's side transactions. So, and you could also hit results, come back, stats, tabular, and then you can see your, average list price, sales price, days on market, average bedrooms, bathrooms, square footage, and whatnot. So maybe you're going on a buyer's presentation in a certain area or whatever. You can show them, hey, here's what type of homes that I currently work for with buyers for. Okie dokie. All right, so the same kind of process is going to work for if you wanted to compare. So, like I know I've worked with agents before where they have had a relocation, like a client was going to come relocate to our area, and the company only works with certain brokerages. So they worked with like Dillbeck and, you know, I don't know, I forget what the other one was. Um, Maybe it was Keller Williams, something like that. And so we went into this, instead of this list co-list agent, went to the co-list office here. All right. So, and if we started to say we wanted to look up Realty Executives, whoops, we have all these Realty Executives here, but none of them are Realty Executives. And how do I know that? Is because none of these F numbers or none of these IDs are any of our F numbers here. So, and if you just started to put in Santa Clarita, there's nothing. So what I did is I put, well, everyone currently already has access to all those. If you're not aware of them, if you go to our agent resource page and then go to this up top here is the roster of services. And if you save that, open it up, we have all of these F numbers. So the MLS brokerage ID F numbers. So these would be all of our F numbers for our different brokerages, our different offices. Oops. And then here's the last one right here. So we have 5. To be honest, I don't think anything goes through Fraser Park. I think that goes through, goes tied to another ID, Newhall or Valencia, something like that. So you really don't need to include the Fraser Park one, but just for safekeeping, you can do it, and then that way you know if anything's gone through there, it's pick that one up as well. All right, let's go back to Matrix over here, and then I've already put these into like a spreadsheet with number of brokerages. I think I have like 105 of them listed in here. So what you would do is just copy those F numbers, paste them in here, click on the blue box, and then that's going to add it in. So we just continue on. And the numbers going up as we add in. So this is for listing sides, remember. Okay, keep going. And remember, this is just for residential, and it's just, looks like there are some that are tied to the Fraser Park office. And this is only listing side and only in this MLS and only, so I mean, this, is it 100% accurate? No, but it's as close as we're going to get with the tools available to us, okay? So we result these. We can see stats tabular. Now we have a 31, days on average, our average list prices, blah, 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 okay? So you can kind of see that information. And if you wanted to compare it against another brokerage, so let's go with at Dillbeck. So I have it on here. I put these in alphabetical, Dillbeck, Dillbeck, Dillbeck. Why did I skip over that? Right here. All right. Let's go down over here. So, I mean, ideally, most likely you're not going to be doing it for all area. Do I have anything on? So maybe you're doing it in Valencia. And I shouldn't have got rid of all those IDs in there to do this. But so let's just get rid of that and then put in Dillbeck down here. So, vastly more sales. So you can easily show them, here listing side we had 700 and so or whatever it was, around 700, and they have 110. So I mean, vastly different market share of what we're working with here. So and then if we look at this results, stats tabular, they're at same average days on market and whatnot. So I mean, different ranges in pricing and stuff, but they did a lot less sales. So, but on average, 31 days. So what's kind of interesting too is if you do, let's get back to here. So we were at 31 days. Let's get rid of any brokerage. But that's going to probably be too many 5,000 plus. So if you go stats, tabular, 70-day average. But I mean, we're not putting in any single family residence, something like that. If we go there, that's going to change it. And ours wasn't accurate either. That's still 75, I guess. That's really, really high. But look at that, $180 million property had 1,200 in so many days. So it's a little, you probably want to refine that down to an area or single family in Valencia, and then that'll give you more accurate numbers. Just putting in everything in all areas of all its property types. It's such a wide range of everything. It's not too accurate of numbers. Okay, but that is basically the gist of all this. So let's just kind of go through it one more time here. So you're going to set in this case, the example I'm showing you today is for like closed sales to, get your average sales price, days on market, list to close ratio, that kind of stuff, okay? So you would set your time period, or first you'd start off and go to whichever property types you're going to be searching for, and then detail, and then go through, do whatever closed time range you want to do. If you want to do any property types and cities, MLS areas, you go ahead and refine this search based off of what's going to work, what you need, okay? But once you have that set, you would just go down and type in your name and select the correct like in Ryan's case, he has claw and F number and stuff in there. So you select your F number, or you could just type in your F number, okay? Or SR or FF, whatever you have. Okay, so hopefully that is pretty simple for you guys. Let me check the chat box here and everything. No questions or anything? Okay, good. So obviously it's pretty easy to use. So I wanted to show you one more thing here. And if we go to this links tab up top, there is this InfoSparks market statistics. Oh, it logged me out. Let me log back in. And go back to here and go to links. And scroll down. Excuse me, I took a sip of water. InfoSparks market statistics. So, all right. So we could use Ryan as an example again. And we can use, and then once again, we have the claw and the F. So let's select the F number. And then let's add an area of that Natalie Arch or whatever her name is. TALCH. Oops. There she is. Okay. So now this is all crazy here, but because we just has we didn't select anything. So if we go to close sales, and then we have these options here. Okay. So this is sales by month, which let's refine this back a bit. So if we do the last year, and then do rolling 12 months. So like I mentioned, this is a little bit funky. And it's not, is it that bad? We have one sale missing that's not showing up here. And then I didn't look at her, she had two listing sales, but I didn't look up her like buyer side transaction. So that could be accurate, but I'm not 100% sure. But basically this total closed sides should give you buyer side and listing side combined together, which this one's doing. But if we click on this, it's giving 14.5 for Ryan. And we know that is closer to just the listing side where he had 15. So to me, that makes absolutely no sense because this should be buyers and seller side. And I double checked within there. user manual here to make sure that that's what it was, and that's what it claims, is that it should be the combined total of listing and sale sides, which it's less than the total closed. So that's what I mean by it's a little funky in here. So use at your own risk. But what it does though do is give you this nice graph. So, assuming these numbers are correct, which like I said, it was just one off, and I think Ryan said he was closer to 30, but it's one off from Matrix MLS here or wherever we were at. So I mean, it's close as it's pretty close. It's just not 100% there. And then you could also do like days on market. So you'd have your average days on market. And then what you could also do is like this bar. So this was for monthly. Let's go back to rolling. So remember she had, so average days on market versus median. So, that's a big change there for her compared to Ryan, who only changed by 1 day. Average would be average of all, and then median was going to be that middle number. So I'm a big fan of the average, because average combines all of them together and then takes the average of. So she had 5 sales, it would combine all of them together and then average it out. Where this one, it takes, if you have 5 sales, it's the random point in the middle. It may or may not have anything to do with actual numbers. It's just 5. You go 2.5, or whatever the middle number is. So whatever the third number is what this number is, regardless of the highest and the lowest. It's just that number. So I'm a fan of the average and not the median, because the median just could be arbitrarily picked. Well, it's not arbitrarily picked, it's the median number, but it's not the average. Okay, but anyways, so you can play around with this stuff and go through different. This one also, the brokerage thing isn't great, because at least on Matrix, if we do brokerage, you can put in, like with us, we have 5 F numbers, an SRF number, and one for Fraser Park, that's SRF. So you could put all of those in here at one time, where InfoSparks, you could just do one at a time, and it's not going to be the combined total. All right. So just so you know that. And this, let's just take a look at this to say we wanted to download this to put into our listing presentation, because we know that Ryan's going against Natalie, but whatever, they knew that the homeowner, mentioned the name of or whatever, and so you somehow you got a hold of who it was, so you wanted to create something that you can share in that listing presentation. So if you click on print, it's going to go ahead and download that graph. Save. Let's go ahead and open it, and here we go. So we have a nice graph that, assuming Ryan was doing this for himself, it would have Ryan up here with his number, this information, cell phone number, fax, email. The only thing that's a little bit weird here is that it says this was December average days on market, but it's each data point is 12 months of activity is here. So this is all for all 12 months, and then it was just pulled on the 29th. So I'm going to have to find out why they put this in there, because this is not accurate there. So each one has their trade-offs. This one looks a little bit better, but for me, the MLS is probably more accurate. Okay. So I don't know. Let me see. Any more questions here? Nothing. All right. All right. So let's just kind of do a quick recap of this. So let's just start here. This one you can search by agent. You can do firms, offices, school district. There's a lot of different options in here you can search for. Zip code, city. You just search all. So it's really neat in some ways, but and I'll show you that in a second before I wrap up of why I really like this InfoSparks, for not necessarily for comparing yourself against other agents, but for just general data. So let's just go back and wrap this up, and then I'll come back here with a little bonus tip at the end. All right, so if you go to search, whichever option you want to choose, detail, and then go ahead and set your criteria, whether it's, if you're going back the whole year or just the last 3 months or whatever it is, go ahead and select that. Let's go to 090 for the last few months. And then if you wanted to do any other subtypes or cities or, specific areas, you can go ahead and do that. Set your criteria, and then all the way at the bottom is where you type in your name, the other agent's name, or the other brokerage's name. Okay? Or, well, actually, you want the F numbers or SR numbers for the brokerages, but for the agents, you can search. So let's go. Okay. And then remember to click on the right one, and then that will insert it into your search capabilities. And then if you put your name in both, remember, that's going to be if you've had a double-ended deal, but if you haven't, then it's not going to show up anything. So if we select this here, and nothing now, because Ryan didn't, in the last 90 days, double-ended deal. So if we get rid of this, you're only going to get the buyers. If the listing side, you'll just have your buyer transaction. Okay? So that way, you're able to look that stuff up real simply by just typing it in. And then once again, for this, I have a spreadsheet that has a number of different brokerages that in the last 180 days sold around in this area. So, or in the last, maybe it was just 30 days. So probably got to expand this list up a little bit. But, here's ours in the yellow. So they're easily identifiable as our F numbers or our MLS IDs. Yes, I shouldn't keep saying F numbers. They're MLS IDs. All right. So it's real simple to do once you start playing around with it. Once you have the name in there, let's go back up here, 090. Let's go back to 0365. Okay, let's go back to Ryan. Here we go. And then if we go to results, now we can hit this stats, tabular, and it's going to go ahead and give you your total number, which is different. So that 365 in the year must have had a transaction at the end of the beginning of last year that did get counted in that 365. But you have your average list price, average sales price, average days on market, average bedrooms, bathrooms, square footage, all that information for you. So you can, I know I've helped Mike Ferry agents who their coaches really wanted to see what their list to close ratio was and stuff like that, where they weren't sure how to do it, and this is how I was able to help them. Okay, we just came in here, looked at their past closed sales, boom, we have our close price, list price, and this one. If we do that again, let's see, did we do that already? Yeah. And this one looks like it. Whoops, is also. Oh, what am I doing? Is also over 100%. So that's awesome. So the close price is higher than the list price, so that's going to be over 100%. So that's pretty awesome. But that's going to be pretty much it for this. If you have any questions about it, let me know. Also, I've helped several agents throughout the last year or so doing these for themselves to compare them with other brokerages. Like I mentioned earlier with the relocation, or with other agents knew exactly who they were working against. So, whatever reason, the client gave them the names of their other agents, so we were able to look them up and compare and show how much better our agent was than those agents. So I'm here to help you guys. So if you need any help with this stuff, just let me know. and I will help you out, because what we did was we made some graphs, some pie charts, whatever, to show, what our market area was compared to other companies and stuff like that. So I think I've shared those out before for Stevenson Ranch and different areas, but I haven't made one of those in a while. So if you guys need me, let me know.